Well, good evening. I'm Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. I'm a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, timeline coach, published author, and I have an action vocabulary of expand, energize, and enterprise to open people's lives. Tonight, I'm talking about this new book I just published. It's called I Am Wisdom. Wisdom and words are my bridges to everywhere. And one thing about this book that I really like, there's not a negative word in my books. There's no not words. It's all about opening yourself up to how you expand your life rather than try to change your life. And the difference between wisdom and knowledge and thinking, wisdom is unattached to the situation. Thinking has you caught up and looking into the situation and looking at the surface of it and all the turmoil. And wisdom is basically, well, wisdom is an energy that allows you to be detached, but it allows you to go in and get the wisdom and the life expanding stuff that's hidden inside the situation, because we have been taught to always look at the outside. We stay on the outside of everything rather than get in to the middle of everything and open up and see that life is about the challenges of life are put on our path to expand us. But we're so caught up in thinking that life has to be a certain way, and we get caught up in our opinions, our viewpoints, our beliefs, our political views. All of that comes into play with whenever a situation arrives. But we really get caught up in the situation is when we get caught up in our own opinions and we think life should be easy and there should be no challenges. Life is a mess. And let's just be honest. Life is a mess, but it's to mature us, expand us. It's a maturing energy, opening us up to a new way to live. And see, if you can understand that life is a mess, it opens it up. But the wisdom of life is being willing to walk the path of percipience to open up the new way. But we've been taught to think about life. And the more you think about life, the more that noisy, nullifying palaver within us becomes, it gets us caught up in our memorized life. Because see, we think life is memorized. We was taught in school to memorize things. And every event we've ever had, we've actually memorized in our subconscious mind. Every word, everything you've ever encountered in your life is buried in that subconscious mind, especially the feelings and emotions of the situation. And when I wrote this book, I Am Wisdom, to be above the thinking mind. And that's what the book, that is what wisdom is. It's above the thinking mind. But I put some words in here that I'm going to introduce you to. And they're called, first one is called outre. That's beyond the thinking mind. It's beyond the boundaries of the thinking mind, because we've always been taught to set boundaries. Every boundary you set is a new fear being embedded within ourselves. And Tuesday night show is about there is no negativity in the world. Only we've been taught negativity. And we've had to think and remember everything. And we've been taught to try to heal the past. Well, we don't have a past. We have memories of events that are engaged in our daily life. And how does your life today reflect your childhood, even though you think it doesn't? Basically, we get to about 8 years old, and that sets everything for the rest of our lives. And we really that really controls our life and keeps us in there. But there's a chapter in here called Outre Nouvelle Vogue Omnificence. I know them words sound big, but they're very simple. But the thing about expanding beyond your thinking mind and everything you know, get a vocabulary that takes you up there. and allows you to be of the dream and not in the dream. Because when you're in the dream, you're in the fray of it. But when you're of the dream, you're open and free to experience the dream. And that's what we're afraid of. Really, wisdom allows you to unstrap the crap to wrap, to realize, appreciate, participate, and facilitate your life. Because we've been taught to be large and in charge and control of our life. That is the cause of overthinking. We get in the overthink, and then we get in the think of the rinky-dink, and then we become frustrated and mad, and we quit. And that is where that is something I've really opened up to. But I want to talk about this. This is a chapter called Outre Nouvelle Vogue in my book, I Am Wisdom. Outre is beyond the boundaries of everything I know. Nouvelle Vogue is a new wave, and omnificence is the most powerful innovation there is. And it takes all the everything we know out of life, because what we know keeps us in there. And then here's the first little paragraph of it. I blatantly ask me, myself, and I, how do I feel experiencing life beyond all my boundaries, feeling my new waves of inspirational innovation energize my day-to-day escapades? As I awaken my God-forsaken troublemaker, quake in my old way of life, liberating my laudable, intrepid frontiersman energies to heed, feel, and experience the world through my pioneering spirit, to understand school actually taught me to live in yesterday, because all my life I heard when I was a kid, I walked 10 miles to school uphill both ways, because I now grasp the concept that school teaches everything that has already been experienced by our ancestors, and school taught me everything else somebody wanted me to know. And that is what a dream is. A dream is your true talent. That's your true talent, but it's also your ability to experience it. But it's unhooking the books and unteaching yourself, unthinking life, unmemorizing life, and open up to the Outre Nouvelle Vogue in yourself. The wisdom, the innovation, and the talent to take this world beyond it is in the people. It's never in the politicians. It's not in the leaders. It's individual people that will take this world to the promised land. And also there's a word in here. It's a chapter called The Lights of Enlightenment. And enlightenment is spelled I-N-L-I-G-H-T-M-I-N-T. And enlightenment means open your heart eyes to hear, instantly clears your soul's ears to see the world of sweet splendor, for you to enjoy your walk of wisdom, free of overthinking and everything, because the world is a mess. Maturing, enterprising, sapient, savvy allows us all to expand through life with a thriving, enlivened energy. And another thing is open up to using ED words instead of ING words, because you want to act, it's like receiving and received. Which would you rather have? Receiving? Would you rather be receiving, or understanding you already received it? And we always set goals and intentions and all this, but what feels better? I set a goal, I set an intention, or I experienced an accomplished outcome of my sired desires, because I had the courage to go through the events and the experiences to expand me of the wisdom and innovation and talent. And the world, the people of the world today encompass so much wisdom and talent that we've not touched because we've been afraid. The biggest fear and the most people are afraid of is themselves. That is the thing they're really afraid of, because it's easier to take advice, because if it goes awry, you can get into the BS game, and that's the blame and shame game. And if you look at the world today, the blame and shame game runs real rampant, and the citizenry follows the leaders. It's time for the citizenry to stand up and lead the leaders, because that's where we're at. But in the lights of enlightenment, the first goes like this. I now feel my lights of enlightenment illuminate my sweet innermost innocence to rumble with rebellious resplendence within me, myself, and I. As I now understand my inspirational enlightenment is a sweet splendor that soars from my core to core, lights up the world, seeing my bright ball of light of embrace, love, appreciation for me, myself, and I. To experience life through appreciation, gratitude, and love for all my events and all people in the universes now and forevermore will ride cloud nine, whining and dining on the best of life. And that's what these books are wrote in. They're wrote in rhymes and they're wrote in first person. Because if you ever really get silent with yourself, ask yourself, who's you? For me, and everybody's going to be different. But for me, when I ask myself, was who's you? I got nothing. But when I write it, me, myself, and I take accountability and responsibility for myself. And that's what wisdom does. It makes you accountable and responsible, because the world has never been taught maturity. We've grown up, but we've never matured. And as we go through this, we've also learned how to pass the buck on to somebody else, and we never get the real lesson of the wisdom of life. And the ancient and the native people of this country, the ancient wisdom that they have is more required now than any time in history. But really the difference between wisdom and knowledge is, look at a light bulb. Knowledge is knowing it's on. A turned on light bulb. Knowledge is knowing it's on. Wisdom is what makes it operate. It's the electrons and neutrons and all the stuff. And electricity goes around in a clockwise motion around the wire. It never goes straight through. That's kind of why the inside of us is pure. The outside has always been circulating around us, but we have allowed the outside to kind of go inside us and kind of set in some stuff that we don't need. And that's a word we don't use as need, but we can accept we can appreciate the experiences to expand us out of life. And that's what these books are written for. These ain't written like the world has challenges. These were written from my core, and they're written to expand people. They're written to get to people so they open up and see the true talent within themselves. And it's the wit of everybody that'll move it forward. Wit is wisdom, innovation, intuition, imagination, and talent. The talent of the people is where this is at. But when we get into the thinking about life, and we have to, when something occurs and when time for the new to arrive, how do we fall back into the opinions and what other people think of us? And how are they going to react? Well, the reaction you have to that is where we start falling behind in everything. But people encompass the wisdom and the talent to expand through anything. But what we're really afraid of is listening to something we've never heard before. And that is where the world is. And am I still expanding into that? Yes. In fact, it happened this week in the stock market. But as we open up to understand everything for us is in here, we have to allow the daily events we come across to uncover and discover that sapient savvy within ourselves to move ourselves forward. And it's like this. With wisdom, I ride the typhoon of trauma and drama till I see the sunrise wise gleam from the eye of the typhoon, feeling trendsetter triumph flow through my veins of fame, feeling audacious maturity expanding my life every day. Because it's when we mature, we unhook the books, and we start using the books as only as a guide rather than an absolute. And that is something we've always been taught. The books are an absolute, and somebody's always right. And in this book, there is a chapter called Eradicating Right and Wrong from My Life. How is right and wrong just an individual perception with opinionated interpretation through limiting belief systems? I now understand, divulge, and admire my dreamers desire to walk of wisdom through my life, understanding everybody is my equal and my guides gliding me on illuminated expressways of expansionism. Expansionism is inspirational, savvy mastery, eradicating right and wrong, because the difference between walking a path and right and wrong, on a path, they're going to close, and a path will open. But right and wrong, we become into that thinking mind. What they do, how they do this, what they do wrong, how's this my fault, and stuff like that. We start playing that blame and shame, victimized, crapitis game on ourselves. And that's what unthinking, unmemorizing your life is. It's really about unteaching yourself everything you learned to be the teacher, to be your teacher, to be the student of your teachings, to understand the world is a tutor and a metaphor, and never anything more, allows you to soar of newfound wisdom to expand through life. It's really about engaging in that inner sage and understanding the wisdom of yourself, or the person will take you through anything you come about. But as soon as you look for outside advice and they start telling you how to do it, how many times has that fell short? And what would you rather do? Set a goal or an outcome, or have the courage to experience the path of percipience to live that accomplished outcome? And the accomplished outcome is something that is going to be done. And it gives you the energy to go through it, because goals is something we score in a soccer game. Intentions are good, but when you have a forthright fortitude to walk through the fires of hell to experience the accomplished outcome, what does that give you? And something else I've really expanded of in writing these books, this book, I Am Wisdom, I opened up to a vocabulary of hell yes, I'm rebellious, because I have to have more fortitude and be ornerier than the habits, because habits are ingrained in the thinking. And to get out of that, you use a vocabulary that above it. And everybody develop your own vocabulary that allows you to be of and above the thinking mind, to walk of wisdom, willfully, invigorating, savvy, daring, opportunistic, moxie, to flow through your arteries of awesome, because everybody is awesome. We have been taught by a system to degrade ourselves. And when you walk of wisdom, you walk of your own true trend-setting tenacity to experience life with your head held high, to stand tall on your mountain of money, overlooking your oceans of opulence, surfing your seas of success. And rhymes open up the vocabulary and allow you to bypass the gatekeeper, and they'll allow you in. It's just like going from childhood. You learn nursery rhymes in school. Well, make rhymes of enterprising expansionism of inside me, I'm free. And I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. My website is mycowboywisdom.com. My books are available on howdiditeachmyselffear.com and amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. And my email is robert@mycowboywisdom.com. And thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I really gracious that you're here, and thank you very much. And everybody, enjoy a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Tuesday night. And we're going to talk about how there's no negativity in the world.